The following is a Terry Wyce production.
Yes indeed, and welcome, my friends. Welcome to another episode, as it were, of Wyce Thoughts. I'm Terry Wyce, and I'm glad you're here today. Let's get at it, shall we? Come on, join me. Hey, this time around on the podcast, we're going to talk about how things have changed in just 10 years. This time on the episode of Wyce Thoughts. So grab your favorite beverage, grab a seat around our virtual campfire, and let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome one and all. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm Terry Wyce, and I am overjoyed that you are here and decided to spend some of your valuable time with me today here on Wyce Thoughts. I hope this podcast finds you and yours very well, and wishing you nothing but success, health, and happiness as we get on into this week's episode. But before we get into the episode, want to remind you to go to my website, wycethoughts.com. Won't you please go to wycethoughts.com, check out each and every episode of this podcast right there at wycethoughts.com. And also while you're there, you can comment on the show, you can send me an email, you can do that right from there. And that and so much more. And hey, do me a favor, please. If you're enjoying the podcast, would you leave me a positive rating and review on your favorite podcast provider or on the website? I would truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. And don't forget, also, I have a YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/Wyce Thoughts. Just make sure you spell my name right, W-Y-C-E. I've had all kinds of derivatives of my name, but that's okay. I don't take offense. It takes a lot really to offend me. But it's Wyce, W-Y-C, wycethoughts.com. If you want to tweet at me on Twitter, or as it is known now as X, it's at Terry Wyce. Real easy to remember, at Terry Wyce, W-Y-C-E. Look for me on Twitter, and hey, while you're there, why don't you follow me on Twitter as well? I post amusing anecdotes and some encouraging thoughts and ideas and words, and some other things as well up on Twitter, or if you want to call it now, X. It's at Terry Wyce. Those are just some of the places that you can find me. And also, by the way, if you're looking for voiceover work or narration for your videos, or you want to make stingers or commercials for your podcast, go to my personal website, terrywyce.com. terrywyce.com. There you can listen to some samples of my work and contact me, and I'd be more than happy to help you out, okay? It's all at terrywyce.com. All right, enough of the shameless plugs, enough of that stuff. How are you? How you doing, Mr. Producer Extraordinary? You doing well? Great. You know what? We are more than halfway through August already here, 2023, and oh man alive, huh? What a crazy year it's been. What a crazy summer it's been. Lots going on. You got fires popping up here and there. You got political things happening all over the spectrum. You've got, you got county fairs going on. You've got, just all kinds of stuff, record rains here and there. But there's good things. There's good things, my friends, in store. You got to try and look for the good in life. I always say, you try your best. I mean, you got to handle what comes your way, obviously, but you want to look for the good if you can in life, and just try it and do yourself a favor with that. That's something I'm trying to do, because I'll tell you what, it definitely makes a difference in your attitude. I mean, your attitude determines your altitude. All right, so you can steal that from me, from your old pal Terry Wyce. Your attitude determines your altitude. You can definitely borrow that from me, steal it, whatever you want. I don't hold no copyrights or anything or on that. So what I want to talk about today on the show, on the program, on the podcast, as it were, is, wow, how far have we come in just a like 10 years with technology, with just socially. Wow, there's a lot going on. And by the way, if you hear a chair creaking in the background, I do apologize for that. We're going to try and edit that out and post. My chair, just because of the humidity here in the studio today, decides it wants to be creaky, and I didn't oil it up or anything before I decided to record the program for you today. But how far we have come with technology, huh? Just think about that. I was thinking the other night while I was reading, and I was nodding off, dozing off while reading in the evening, and I just started, for some reason, this thought popped into my head is, wow, how far have we come in the past, 10, 20 years? I thought about when me and my wife bought our current home a mere 23 years ago. We were using dial-up internet, and I'm thinking back to what an inconvenience that was. You had that, welcome, you've got mail. Remember that? Remember AOL Online, folks? Where you get the discs at your local electronics stores or, retailer? And if, God forbid, anybody picked up the phone, God forbid anybody picked up the phone while you were on the internet because you're like, oh, you booted me off the internet. You're like, oh. And even with, just how far the internet has just exploded. And some might say to the detriment of society, because the internet's caused a lot of problems. And I will wholeheartedly agree with that. The internet has definitely caused some issues socially, I think culturally, dare I say, as well, where I don't know if we are as, dare I say, kind as we can be to one another, tolerant as we can be to one another. And there are some people that, unfortunately, I've got to say it. I got to tell it like it is. You know me. I don't lie to you folks. I don't mince words. Some people, narcissistic people and dare I say evil people, have used it for nefarious means and continue to do so. And that's a shame. It really is, because the internet in itself has so much to offer. So many good things, a way to communicate around the world. In nanoseconds, we can communicate with each other. However, some of us just like to get on there and be what, you call a keyboard warrior, just start bashing people or trolling people, harassing people, dare I say, as well, amongst other things. And it's sad, really. It really is sad, because I think there's so much more potential in the internet, and not just like streaming and playing video games and in chat rooms and video conference calling and, audio and movie production, audio and video production, what we're doing right now, the ability to consume content or find content, find knowledge. Okay. Finding knowledge is much simpler now than when I was a youngster and growing up, because I'll tell you, I had to go to the library if I wanted to find something, or learn it in school or a trade school or some type of a college, or from my friends, and hopefully they weren't, doofuses. And there's so much opportunity that is available to us in this modern age. In just the past decade, just with the internet alone in the past decade, so much has become available to us. And like the human species can do, some of us just go right off the path and go out and branch out into things it was never intended for. Pornography, dare I say, you used to have to go to certain sections of the city and certain shops if you were indulging in that sort of thing. Now it's all readily available at your fingertips on the internet, And, it's a shame, really. It really is a shame that more positivity can't be gleaned from the internet. You can learn anything you want nowadays remotely. You can sign up for college. You can learn trades and skills and how to cook and home repair, you name it, you can learn it on the internet. You can research archives of history, literature, all kinds of things. And this is all like in the past, 10 to 20 years, my friends. I mean, the knowledge has exploded. Now, parts of me wonder, have we leapt ahead too quickly without really, knowing the waters we're wading into, the depth of them and the ramifications? And I don't know. I guess only history will be the forebearer or the teller of that. If we were indeed, wading into uncharted waters without any caution or anything, it's amazing because, again, I see so much positivity and positive potential for the internet. I've learned so much, just even in my music career, my trade, my hobbies, knowledge-wise, cooking, etc., reading, the ability to shop online and not have to leave the house if you don't want to, the research you can do on certain products, subjects of all types. And yet again, we have, certain segments of the human population that want to use this for, bad things, doing harm to others, shaming others, mentally abusing, physically abusing others, what have you. And I wonder if it's just maybe not too much information overload for us at this point in history. Maybe, things need to slow down a little bit, but I don't think that's going to happen, my friends. I don't think that the internet is going to slow down anytime soon. And the technology, now we've got artificial intelligence out there, and that's really ramping up. There's lots of things they're doing with AI. And I hope and I pray it isn't like James Cameron tried to warn us about in the Terminator movies. For those of you that may not have seen the Terminator, look it up. It's really easy on your internet. I hope that doesn't come to fruition where, artificial intelligence gets so self-aware that it decides, hey, the human race, we don't need the human race anymore, man. They're not worth it. Hopefully that'll never happen, and we kind of cause our own demise. I hope it doesn't happen. The other things too, medical technology in the past 10 to 20 years, on a positive note, that has grown exponentially as well. The advances they're making in chronic diseases and treatments, things we're learning about health, things we're learning about our own bodies and the world around us. Medically, that's a great thing for us to have. And but I guess part of me is still disheartened at the social aspect of the technology and the where we've come in the past, especially like the past 10 years. I think, sadly, if you want to look at it like the glass is half empty, I think socially, we've got a long way to go. We've got a long way to go socially. I think we've, in many parts of our minds, excuse me, and socially, as a species, I think we've regressed a bit. I really do. I'm just in how we treat each other, how polite we can be to each other. It seems like, especially the United States, is really woefully divided. I mean, if dare I say anything political here on the podcast, but you've got major factions of people that don't really want to talk to each other. They have their set ideas, and that's it. They're not willing to really, for the most part, excuse me, pardon me, the sniffles. It is a little bit of an allergy day today. I apologize for the noise, as it were. Back to what I was saying, it seems like a good portion of the population doesn't want to sit down and have an honest discussion with the other side and just really have a calm exchange of ideas, exchange of philosophies, exchange of points of view, as it were, without ramping it up into childish name-calling. I mean, this is where at least where we're at in the United States, and I've seen some other places around the world that it's kind of the same thing as well. The go-to thing is violence. People screaming, yelling, and violence. And we're supposed to be better than that. We're supposed to be the highest on the food chain here. Okay? I mean, I don't think animals per se, I don't think one tiger looks and walks by another tiger and says, I just don't like the way they look and the way they're walking, so I'm going to attack them. No, usually animals have ingrained into their DNA, they're defending either their territory, their food source, or their families. It isn't, there's nothing political about the animal kingdom or the insect kingdom. There's nothing, derogatory as far as why they would attack and just kill indiscriminately with their species or others of their ilk based on a feeling or a mood or, a fox just doesn't lose its shit one day and just go out and start, killing, unless it has like rabies or something like that. But what I'm saying is that while they're social animals to a certain extent in nature, okay, and built into their DNA and their programming, they just don't develop that hatred and animosity like the Homo sapiens, the human species, does. Human beings, we're the only ones that kill indiscriminately for either through mental breaks or over ideas. We have gone to war over ideas and that. And I'm just wondering why in the 21st century, why haven't we evolved further and become more enlightened to work out our problems in a more productive manner? I mean, we got a Ukraine war that's raging on well over a year now because it seems like one country wanted to invade another based on ideas that they think it's their territory, what have you. And it just, it can be disheartening. It really can. But then I look around and I take walks in nature and I advise, I implore you or would advise if you're able to, depending on where you're listening to the podcast today, in the world, if you have the ability to go outside and just spend 15, 20, 30 minutes out in nature, take a leisurely walk and just breathe in the air, look around, be aware, be present in the moment where you're at. Hey, I think that might be a great thing to do. I find it helps me. It helps me clear out, the cobwebs, clear out the frustration and what have you. And I really enjoy it. I find it mentally beneficial as well as physically beneficial. But we've come so far in just the past, 10 to 20 years, while we've made so much on the surface progress. But I think as far as us as a species, as human beings, intellectually, philosophically, socially, I think in many areas we've regressed to more basic bare animal instincts. And again, this is just my opinion. I don't have any kind of scientific factual evidence to back this up, but I just wanted to talk to you today about this and get your thoughts on it. And please, go to the website, wycethoughts.com, or on your podcast provider if it allows. I know Spotify does. They allow you to leave comments on shows. Or you can email me, mail, M-A-I-L, mail at wycethoughts.com if you want to reach out to me by email and continue the discussion. We can also do it on Twitter, or better known as X now, at Terry Wyce. If you want to comment on this program and start a conversation there and say, hey, Terry, I agree with you, or Terry, I don't agree with you in this point or this aspect. But I guess what I would implore, what I would ask maybe for you to try to do here, over the coming week is just maybe when you have some quiet downtime, just think about that. Think about where we've come in the past 20 or even 10 years, the advancements we've made in the world, all the advancements you see, all the new cable channels, all the new this, all the new that, the new technology, the science and everything. And then take that, internalize a little bit and think, all right, while those are all physical things and etc., what about as a species? What about as human beings and things of that nature? Have we kept our fiduciary duty, our responsibility as human beings while we're advancing in all these technological and social ideas, etc.? While we've advanced so far with that, at our basic core as people, at our basic core as human beings, are we being more aware, more empathetic, more sympathetic to our fellow man? And holding those in our society that are evil or would choose to do evil or things of that nature, are we holding them accountable? Not letting people get away with hurting each other socially, economically, physically, mentally, what have you. Are we taking all that and all those things into account? Let me know what you think on the podcast. I welcome your feedback. I would look forward to it. And again, like I always tell you, my friends, you know, to be a change in the world and to see that, you have to be the change in the world that you see every day, okay? It all starts with you, the person looking back at you in the mirror every morning when you get up. Just remember, I want you to be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and go out and have a great day. Until next time when we gather around the virtual campfire, it's Terry Wyce saying thank you for spending your time with me today, and I look forward to talking with you again real soon. Take care.